It was a slave.
Have my man. Alright. Welcome to Studio 3K BK, the podcast. This is Andrew.
This is Danny.
Here we are.
Here we are, our second episode. I want to thank everyone for the first one, everyone who viewed the first one, everyone who liked, commented, subscribed to the YouTube.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that for us.
Thank you. I got a lot of texts. I didn't realize it was actual premiere, so it was like a live thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that too. You sent the link. I'm like, yeah, cool. Goes up at 12. Cool, bro.
I thought people were just going to click and be able to watch it. People clicked like later, and they were like caught the end of it, and then had to go rewatch it. But it was great. Got a lot of amazing texts. A lot of people liked it.
A lot of good feedback too, which is great. We definitely took in all your questions, all your comments, all your adjustments that we should make, and all your suggestions anyway. And we're gonna try to make this better this week.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you guys get feedback or hear from anybody that you didn't expect to hear from?
That's a good question.
When the content dropped?
That I didn't expect. The coolest thing, the funniest thing, you know how you did the extra Kanye thing at the end? Mm-hmm. For the people that stayed past the credits. I hope you stayed past. Yes. But literally, the person who got me into the show, she texted me. We don't talk all the time, so I thought that was great. That I wasn't expecting that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that day. That was so cool. This and that." So like. That was just, just to get different memories.
Podcast, rekindling old friendships.
Look at us. Look what we're doing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wanted to start this week differently and have us kind of tell a recap of what we were doing this past week. Because Danny got a story from yesterday. He had a crazy ass time yesterday.
Let me make a note. Every time we play, Danny always has a story from yesterday. But always yesterday, bro.
It just happens the way we schedule, and this is random right now. So it's like, yeah. Oh shit.
Go first. My week was shit, by the way, just so y'all know. But you go first.
Yeah. So I worked with this company, an ad agency. What you do this week? Sorry.
Top that.
Nothing compared to that. I had a couple releases this week, so I was working on City Girls project.
Hey, the City Girls are down bad right now.
Are they? What happened?
You didn't see Black China?
Oh, see, I don't stay up on the beat. This situation.
Well, it's not anything bad, but she was talking about she don't get no support as a mother, and then her baby dads were like, nah, we pay this amount. Yeah. We're with the kids. She's pretty much with her kids one day. But anyways, that's not gossip.
City Girls as a group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not your City Girls that you're working with. I'm just.
Just the team.
Yeah, the team.
So I just did that. I had that.
He just behind the computer.
I was on the computer all week. I have something for Neo 2 coming out.
For who?
Neo.
No, I know. I just wanted to.
You wanted
a little brag. Yeah.
And it was a very quiet week inside.
Yeah, that was just my Friday night.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't think I did anything else during the week photo related. You went out last night, and that's that's not photo, but it is work.
Oh, it's not photo
friend
related,
photo related.
It's like what we were kind of talking about before, where going out is a major part of the marketing plan as a photographer. And one of my good friends, her birthday was last night, went to Say Less, which is like the new hit spot in New York, whatever. And so I went out, chilled with her.
But it's a friend that turned into a client, so
Yeah, friend. Client. I mean, she gets me all this work. Amber Billionaire. It was her birthday. Had shots, drank,
So even though he didn't have a crazy work week, it's still work related.
Not as cool as your Friday.
Yeah,
I thought I was having a pretty decent Friday till I saw that. But let's move. I need to rethink this little recap because my recap was whack. I might redact this whole shit and not do this.
But bonus footage.
But anyway,
this brings us to what we're talking about today.
And our topic this episode is how to be a photographer. This is literally everything other than the photos.
Yeah, we ain't talking no ISO, no aperture.
Yeah, we're not talking technical shit. This episode, it's all the other random pieces that need to connect for you to make it, I guess, or make it somewhere in the industry. So
at least to make money somehow.
Yeah,
even $1. You know.
Yeah, because
that's how you turn pro. Once you make $1, you're now a professional. You're not an amateur. You're not in college no more. You know.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So let's start there.
Don't start with me.
Do you remember? No, I'm
don't
asking
do
the
it.
question,
I'm
so I'm not going to ask the
yourself.
question to myself.
Okay.
Do you remember your first, the first time you got paid for shooting something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew. I don't think you're gonna top it. Yeah.
Oh shit! That's why you said not to start with you.
Yeah.
Because
you go first. Trust me.
I'll go first because I really, literally, I don't remember, which is bad. I feel like I have a terrible memory. That's just one little Andrew fact. Andrew fact. I gotta put something up there. Andrew fact. But
it's just gonna be his face too.
But I have terrible memory. But I guess it was. I had this job. You could say it this time. Let's not redact it. But I worked at .com, and that was like one of my first kind of photography.
I was doing a lot of product photography.
Right. I initially started as design, and I was doing design. I went to school for design. And then Jenny, I love Jenny to death. She was the photographer there at and she was like, "Oh, I need help. You want to like help me?" And I was like, never shot anything. She's like, "You'll be fine."
Yeah.
And then I started shooting there, and then I started shooting outside of.
Wow, that's cool.
So I think that was the main first thing, and I can't remember the outside work first gig.
Okay.
That I can't remember, but I know I was shooting at first.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead and top it.
My guy Zeke, DJ Zeke.
Oh, Zeke.
That's my guy. You know, I went to.
Congratulations to DJ Zeke.
Yeah, congrats.
Yes, he just
congrats
got married.
to him and wifey. Yes, so happy for him. I'm mad I missed it, because they were in Guatemala.
Yeah, I mean,
on a Wednesday, and I got a kid, so I'm not paying for babysitting and all that. And but anyways, yeah. So Zeke, we go way back from college. So when I started getting into photography, I was like, I gotta take more than just random pictures of whatever I'm doing. So I hit up Zeke a few times, like, yo, come to whatever event I'm doing. So this day I just hit him up randomly. He's like, yeah, I'm in Soho. So this is because of Zeke, it got crazy. But he's like, I'm in Soho. I'm DJing at the Beat Store. Is the day they opened. The first actual brick and mortar store. So we're there. It was pretty chill. I thought it was cool because they had 101 headphones, everything. So I'm just taking pictures with Zeke, him, and then later we just get invited. Like, oh yeah, I should come to the after party. I'm like, I'm not doing shit. I'll go. Zeke had another job because he's popping. He was doing his thing. But I was like, all right, I can wait 2 hours or an hour. I think I got food, but I'm back there just hanging out. I've never been in anything industry. Now you guys hear all these crazy stories. I knew no one. And I'm not from New York. Pro Style's a DJ, Pro Style. And I didn't even know who he was at the time, And I'm like, this guy's on 105, but I don't listen to the radio and all that. So he's there. And then a person who invited us to the after party, she was like, oh, I remember you from earlier. I don't know where a photographer is at. If you take pictures, I'll make sure you get paid.
Wow.
All right. So this is kind of like what we just being out, literally just being outside, and it was my opportunity. Are you good over there? You got COVID?
Oh yeah. Hey y'all, it's not COVID, all right?
Yeah, but this beautiful young lady, I love her to death. She gave me this great opportunity.
Yes, see?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
It's a person that we're not going to say. You say her name so we can redact it. I want him to redact it. Redact it.
All right, no lip reading, but yeah, mad loud into the mic. No, I love her though. It's for other reasons outside of me. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah. But she was there. She's like, yo, I don't know where the photographer's at, or she's not doing a good job. I don't really remember, but she's like, yo, if you take pictures for us, I'll make sure you get paid. So I'm like, of course. Next thing you know, she's like, all right, Dre and Jimmy Iovine are about to walk in.
Wow.
And I'm like I said, I don't know anything. And she's like, yeah. So the first picture I ever took of any celebrity was Dr. Dre looking at his baby, his first Beats by Dre store ever. Of course, yeah, of course, yeah. So the coldest photo I got, which I think was an accident because I don't think my flash popped off. He's like silhouette looking at this poster, and it's like just like composed. I think great. But yeah, it was just a crazy thing. I got Jimmy Iovine with his like nephews and nieces throwing up the beat sign. But if you know what that looks like, you know, they were joking with him. I don't think he knew what he was throwing up. You know, if you're throwing up the beats,
the beat
yeah.
The beat side.
Like they were making it a big deal. Will.i.am came. So I got like him and Dre. And this is my first thing. I got paid $300.
Damn, she jerked you.
Yeah. But for me, I was like, wait, let me take this shit seriously. Because if I got $300 just from being here and drinking and all that, imagine like if I did get hired and when I could have negotiated and all this and that. Yeah. And then I did a few other jobs with them until she asked me to do video. And it wasn't my fault, but I'm an original Sony shooter. All y'all all knew. I used to work at the Sony store.
You know, had Sony way before all the Sony.
Before all y'all. Everyone used to laugh at me. I'm like, oh, you shoot Sony? I'm like, now look at everyone. You know, now everyone asking for a discount. I don't get discounts though. But yeah, I used to work at Sony, so that's how I got my first camera. So that's what kind of, just being at Sony. I used to work for PlayStation.
Hold on, let me ask
you.
So after like your first gig that you got paid, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
got the battery in my pack.
Yeah, like so, like you were saying that realization that I'm just here for this amount of time. Mm-hmm. I could have negotiated. What changed in you, like mentally, like after that first gig?
After the first gig, again, I can't remember who it is, but I do remember that, like, after you get asked to get, like, what's your rate? Mm-hmm. Like, after that question, I was like,
it's a question we get every day.
Oh, shit. I should have a rate. So, like, after that, it kind of, like, it just, I guess it put, like, a realization or, like, a stamp on what you were doing before that, you know, like, oh wow, people will actually pay me for this, you know. And I think unless you're going into it as like, oh, I'm trying to get paid, which I don't think.
I think it's a beer, bro. Cause
you're right. It might be the damn South, bro. Don't do that to me.
Because I just did it also. I had to hold it in.
It's like I just didn't want to do the full phlegm cough. But should I start that over?
Nah, we good. It's
I think I lost my train of thought now. I think
when you realize, actually, I was about to tweet it. I don't think I did because I don't like tweeting my thoughts. But it's the same thing. Like, wow, I really get paid for just like using my eyes and like seeing how I capture the world, and people pay me for this. You know, like
I mean, I think this is off subject, but like I think celebrating, like I know personally I don't celebrate it enough, and like really step back out of myself and be like, yo, shit, I'm getting paid to like do some shit that I like to do. Like I in my head, I don't really realize that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like there's people out here not getting paid to do stuff like, or like
they're doing jobs they don't like,
or like going like, I literally wake up in the morning and I'm like, I set my own schedule. I do what I want to do the whole day. Like, you know, like, yes, we have constraints. Yes, the client's always right. Yes, the client wants their shit when they want it. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's like something that I love to do, and like I get to just do that. But
as much as I hate editing, I'd rather do that than be at my old retail job at Sony. You know, and that's to answer your question. It's the same thing. I was like, wait, I just got $300 for the evening, or how many hours I got to do to make that, right. And a job where I'm getting not pestered. It was cool, but like just dealing with managers or blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's like I was like, let me go full-fledged. I don't remember like any other. I don't even know that job because that was a big job. But like after that, I don't think I did anything really big. I used to go to like small venues. I don't think I really got paid that well. It took a few years, I think, to start getting consistent. Like I can start living off of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes. It's weird because I feel like. What am I trying to say? I feel like part of me should have been a little bit quicker in the scaling of my prices and like figuring that out a little bit better and quicker and faster than I did. Because at the time it was just like I was just taking it because like I didn't know when the next one was coming. You know, like, oh, you want to do okay, 200, cool. You know, so but I feel like I don't know.
I feel bad. I turned down some money recently. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean that's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, this is a gem. Here we go. This week.
Pro tip.
Pro tip. Here it comes. Say no with a price.
That's why I turned down the
I don't know why
job.
I haven't been doing this.
Unpack that for the people. What do you mean
So
by
say no with a price. So like I haven't been doing this, and I don't know why I haven't been doing this. I'm in my 12th year, and I'm just now doing this year, 2022. I am saying no with a price. So basically, someone comes to you, they want you to do something. It's something that you don't really want to do. You know, like, oh, can you shoot this? And it's just like, I don't really want to do that. But I'll say no with a price. So I'll be like, no. I'll be like, yeah, I could do it, but it's gonna be. And then you shoot really high, like.
Because you know they're going to say no.
Because you know they're gonna say no. But
That's a
in the
pro tip.
off chance that they do say
At least you know
yes,
you're getting that money.
now you're getting a G for 2 hours or whatever the thing was. So that's what I've been doing lately, and it's worked both ways. It's been like no, and we don't have the budget for that, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, cool. Next time.
It's a good tip. I'm gonna try that
I
out.
don't want to do it anyway. Yeah. And then and it has happened in the off chance they're like, okay, cool, yeah. When do you want to do it? You want deposit? Blah blah. I'm like, oh shit. Part of you like shit. I got to do it now. But then the other part's like, shit. Okay, this is my new rate now. Like So I've been saying no with the price for the past like 2-3 months, and that's like my new thing. Pro tip. I don't know where we were before.
I'm going to use that because
There you go.
one reason I missed a job, but I passed it to another photographer because that's the other thing I do. That's another tip, I guess, is like if I do say no or if I'm not available, I try to pass it to one of my homies.
Yeah.
And maybe they want to do it, unless the rate's too low and like no one should do it. You know, like no one should do it for. Like, I'm not gonna make my boy or my homegirl go through the work that I wouldn't do. I'm like, nah, you're getting
To
paid.
this
What?
day, I passed you. What you call it?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And now I'm like, shit. Why did I pass that nigga?
Mented Cosmetics.
Mented Cosmetics. That's a good ass pass. But I did. That was my homegirl. Actually, that job that we were talking about earlier, we worked there briefly together, and then she moved on. KJ.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, KJ worked at Dr.
Shout out
K.
KJ. She's killing it at Mented. Thank you.
She was just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna become Forbes, whatever.
She said
is.
all
Like,
that?
No, is she? I don't know.
Did she say all that before?
No.
Oh, I was about to say, damn, she really spoke that into existence.
No, but that was amazing, and I think I was in Vietnam.
Yeah, you weren't here, yeah. So
was somewhere.
And it started off with he was like, oh, there's this new makeup company. They don't really have a budget, but they're.
You could hook her up.
Yeah.
Like she's really good people's. Blah blah blah.
We shot in their apartment actually, Amanda's apartment.
Yeah, he shot the first couple shots for her, and then and then she like
3 years later, it's two women, Amanda and KJ. 3 years later, they are the 15th and 16th black women in the world to get over $1 million in funding for a company. So
amazing.
So out of everyone in the world, they were 15 and 16. Yeah. So like, as a pair, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And now their products are Ulta. I'm like I'm not an employee, but I know everything. Yeah, I always shout them out. I still need my promo code, so I know makeup now because of them. Because I edit their videos, so I get all the tips, like how we do our pro tips. I do the same exact thing. Like I had to put certain tips out. But anyways, happy for them. We shoot here. When we did our shoots, we just did a shoot last month actually.
But yeah, just circling back on the whole thing, I passed that to him, and I think part of the saying no with a price is also passing it off to people as well. Like, oh no, don't have the budget for it, yada yada. Cool, I might have somebody else You can check with them. Yeah. Or if it's just something I just don't do anymore, like events. Like
He don't do events at all.
I literally always
You hit me up
pass
last
it.
night.
Yeah, I hit him up last night. I literally pass events like all the time because that's just something that I know for a fact. No price. Let's not say that.
Yeah, because you would have done. You would have did last night.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I would have did that party he was at last night. I would have been there. But yeah, certain things I just know for a fact. I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Even me, honestly, like I do events, obviously, but it's got to be a certain rate now because I'm not doing no baby showers anymore. I'm not doing like a lot. Certain things I'm just not doing. I'm like, it's no disrespect to these events. They're great and all, but I'm like, man, this is a lot. Unless they have that budget, but it's the same thing. They usually can't.
Drake's baby shower,
Yeah.
something like that. Like, but no, I know what I know what you mean.
Like these people trying to spend. It's great because I'm the same way. I'm cheap. I'm not trying to pay $1,000 for some photos, but for a baby shower or something. So I understand it, but that's what I want to charge. Yeah. So yeah, because you want me there for 6 hours or something like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot. And edit.
With all that said, it does sound like when you realize that you are a professional photographer now, right? Or you are a photographer. Right?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still figuring it out.
What are some noticeable like habit changes, like in your day even, or how you just handle shit? Because it's not the grind anymore of like going to a job and
in the entrepreneurship. I mean that I think that's all encompassing to not even just photographers. I think there's a bunch of steps as just a new entrepreneur or someone that's not clocking in 9 to 5 anymore that you shouldn't make conscious efforts to do. Waking up early, like when I first started, I didn't have a child then, so it's a lot different now. But like when I first started, it was like, oh, I don't gotta get up no more to go to work. I'm gonna just sleep till 2 p.m. And like that kind of stifles you creativity. Like your creativity, it stifles you. It that waking up and that regimen and that schedule, you still. Every entrepreneur that I've spoken to that's like years in and successful, they have schedules. You still keep yourself on a schedule. You still still clock in. Like you still
that's what I'm saying. That's a difference.
Out,
that's a difference, I guess, from successful people. It's like, they still act like they're working. You are technically working, but you don't have no one to answer to or anything. Like I have a corporation, I'm the only employee. So it's like I don't gotta. Yeah, so it's that discipline and making sure like you're handling it. Like there's times where I'm not working like for like a week or two, and I'm like, all right, I got no clients, no editing. What do I do in between?
There's a lot of valleys and peaks.
Mm-hmm.
So, you'll have your oh man, this week I'm getting paid like every day, and then you'll have 3 weeks. Like I just went through, especially when you start getting into that net 30s and them net 60s. Like I'm doing work for. I'm not gonna say their name. Well, I'm doing work for blah blah blah, and they're not paying me still. And I'm like producing work. They're putting it out. I'm like, I'm doing this. It's going out, and I'm on net 60. I'm like talking to them, getting invoices, blah blah blah. You know how it goes.
I was just about to text someone on my walk here. I'm like, wait, I am missing money in my bank account right now, and this was a month ago. Wait, let's go. And I don't do net 30s for these parties.
Listen. Like this past, like where we at right now, this is, I'm not going to date the episode, but it's the first week of the month. And for the past 3 weeks, I didn't get paid. Nothing. Like I didn't get paid 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
You're sending that email out on Monday.
Like it has to, you gotta be able to schedule it becomes a whole, it's actually harder. And everyone says this as well. It's harder to be an entrepreneur than like to go and clock in and clock out.
Oh yeah.
Like now you're everybody. You're the accountant. You're the secretary. You're the boss. You're the.
I gotta do my damn taxes.
Well, that's. I guess that because there's different steps to this. I think when you're first starting, you're everybody.
Yeah.
You're everybody at the first, but then now like I hire out now.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm like,
personally doing
yeah,
my
I'm like,
taxes, but I still gotta go through
yeah.
my transactions and then send it to my accountant. You know, but I ain't.
I try to hire out as much as I can now because people are more
Looking for a good retoucher because I'm tired of retouching.
I got a good retoucher that I've used my retoucher, but
Yeah.
You're gonna pass it off to the other guy now. You see?
I'm actually looking for a good junior designer. So let me just throw that out there too.
We hiring, huh?
Yeah, we hiring out here. But yeah, we're totally off.
Yeah,
off
this
subject.
is the shit. Sorry. Well,
Sorry.
hopefully we get these stories condensed.
Yeah.
For
You
your
cut it up.
viewing pleasure, but actually you should like, subscribe, comment.
There you go.
Not just text me. I appreciate everyone that's texted me all their comments, and I text them and I respond like, "Do you mind putting this on YouTube?"
Right,
like
exactly.
on the comment
Just-
section. Yeah.
Just that nice thing you just said. Copy and paste it.
Yeah, please,
Into the
but
YouTube section.
yes, because we want to work that algorithm. You know.
Word. Go ahead. Your question.
Do you guys feel like the journey into now being podcasters would be kind of similar to the photography journey, or?
Give us some time, because now we're trying to figure this shit out.
That-
Yeah.
Exactly.
but
That's why I was
it's-
asking, because you guys.
I think, well, now we have, with podcasting or anything really is getting your, eyeballs or I guess ears for this. You just want people to listen and view.
Mm-hmm.
I think now because we're cool with so many people, it's a little easier. Like,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, it's
terms of
a
the
new
networking,
thing.
yeah.
Everything that's new is usually uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is also good. Uncomfortable is usually you're doing the right thing when you
Yeah.
start doing something a little uncomfortable. So, yeah.
ask us on episode 100.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Whenever we
Ask
get
us
there.
how we feel in 3 episodes from now. If we
Yeah.
still want to do this. But
Yeah. I had something I was gonna say. Awkward pause. But it had to go back to like other jobs. And you're like, what is? I guess since you're like you don't remember like your first job. What was like your first like oh shit job? Like I got hired for this job.
Oh man, my first old shit job. You should have
Yeah.
asked me off camera so I could think about it.
Take your time.
Damn. Hold on.
And I asked this for selfish reasons.
Yeah, because you're about to say your favorite old shit job.
Yeah.
If it's blinking.
He had one job. I'm playing.
One job, bro.
We're good now? Okay.
All right. What we were saying? We were saying say yes to opportunities. Well, you said that. I don't know what that even means. I don't say yes to every opportunity, but
Yeah.
you should say yes to opportunities.
I guess it goes back to
This is a drinking podcast.
now, yeah. Last podcast I didn't have my beer. I was a little tight about that. But this one my beer's already gone. But yeah, before a little break I asked Andrew like what was one of his like oh shit type of moments, like this is a job that you did and you're like or your first like one of your first like oh shit moments, like I'm working with this client or I'm doing this whatever
You know what?
thing.
And now it just kind of popped into my head because I did actually a lot of like work with artists, but they weren't really who they are now. So I do have a lot of photos of like Nicki Minaj and like McNeil and Nipsey and like people before they were who they were. So at that time it wasn't like oh shit who's this it was like, yeah, good job. Hope you make it. Like that. It was that situation at the time.
Damn.
But I do remember getting asked, and this was Eb the Celeb. Shout out to Eb the Celeb. I love her to death.
I love that too.
She asked me to come to the studio because they were doing a session for R. Kelly's new record, and for me to shoot R. Kelly. And at the time, he was not the R. Kelly he is now.
He was favorable. He told me he don't got stories. Look at
Yeah,
this.
he was not the guy he is,
No,
not,
he was.
Or he was that guy still, but
Yeah,
we
he
ain't
definitely
know
still
the
was.
extent of who he is now.
He wasn't
but,
convicted for his stuff. Yeah.
But all that aside, he R. Kelly like that.
My daughter's singing I Believe I Can Fly now. Like she just learned that song. So yeah.
hits. So like I get there and I'm the only photographer there, and I'm like, oh, it's really just me. So I'm shooting. He's super cool. Like I'll put that out there. He was a cool guy. Like my takeaway that night was how much of a genius he is.
Like in making music?
Like a musical genius.
Uh-huh.
Like we went. It was one of those studios that has the live room where they usually have like a big piano or something else in there, and we ended up going into the live room, and he sits at the piano and he starts playing the piano, and he's looking around because it was all journalists. He's looking around and he like picks out somebody and he's freestyle singing while playing the piano about a person who's in the room. And I'm like, this man is it sounded like Trapped in a Closet, but like better. I was like, this man is a fucking genius. Like, so that was a, at that point I was like, oh shit, I'm really here shooting R. Kelly. Like, for me, that was a big deal. I mean, it is. I mean, it's still kind of a big deal.
That's really dope.
But that was a.
You're gonna have to find at least a photo of that.
That I have.
Some hard drives.
Actually, I have Polaroids of that too, because I
nice.
brought my Polaroid camera too. So I have Polaroids of him.
Just prep for that one. Nice.
Yeah, no, that one. Yeah, I got photos of that.
You know what? You guys couldn't have got to those levels without being like ill photographers, right? So a question from the crew we got here is, when did you guys realize that y'all were fucking ill?
I don't know. It's like I always think it's kind of weird sometimes. I'd be telling people on shoots, I'm like, I'm just pressing a button now. Obviously, you're doing like, if it's a studio shoot, you set lights and all that. I learned it's more scientific than anything. Like when I was like learning about photography.
You know, that's so funny you said that. Like, because I always feel nowadays too, I'm just like, yo, I'm just pressing a button. But all the clients, everybody's just like, oh my God, you're doing amazing work. Is it that like now it's a muscle memory and we don't even feel it now, or is it we just pressing the button?
Well, it for me, at least with events too, it's different for events than in studio, because in studio, you know, once you set up everything, now it is really like you're just directing or, you know, making whoever is in front of your camera feel comfortable. It's more customer service more than anything. It's not really about the photography, I feel. And then events, the same thing. Like last night, the lighting's changing, so you're like making all these little mental tweaks. So that's where I'm like, yo, this is good that I can shoot on manual, and no matter the lighting setting, I can change it around, this and that.
That's a skill, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's that's something I have to learn. Like I went from, it's been like 10 years before I used to always shoot on aperture mode, and like I would always have the camera or the light flashing directly at the person.
Who's ducking the question, though?
No.
When did you find out he was ill?
I don't know, but it's just like as you grow and like people like you know if you keep getting hired or people are complimenting you on your photos. I don't know. It's just like a thing. Like sometimes I'm just like.
So you're saying you're ill?
I'm joking. I said I'm ill. Yeah.
No, I think I have some skill. I would say there's skill definitely there. I'm not gonna downplay myself at all, but like I guess there's a little bit of what is it, imposter?
Yeah, I was gonna say we all have imposter.
I think we all have a little bit of that. Sometimes I guess it is like a second nature thing where I'm not even really understanding that other people can't do the same thing, because I do feel like sometimes it's really easy, so I'm like, yo, this is easy, like y'all press a button. That's it. That's all I did. But
when you give your camera to someone to take a picture of you,
and then you realize, oh shit, yeah, maybe there is that 10, 12 years of what I've been doing to like build to this point.
And I think a lot of it's like composition too, because when I get someone in my camera to take a picture of me, I'm somehow cut off, and I'm like, it's the easiest thing. Like get my
stand right there. Like how did you not? It's the eye too, I guess.
Yeah, that's where
it's, you know, you can't teach the eye, right?
And that's where I'm like, that's where we're getting paid for our eyes and our brain, and just like how we see the world really and document it. That's like this is surreal.
Listen, this is random, but I just want to say when a client says, "Oh my God, you have such a great camera. Don't say that. Don't say that. It has nothing to do with the camera. It's us.
Yeah,
Like
someone
that's
asked
the
me
worst.
after my shoot,
Right.
like, "Oh, what camera are you using?" I'm like, "Doesn't matter, because I could
shoot
use
on
my
the
old
iPhone.
camera." Because they were like, "Oh, all these pictures are crisp," and in the past with other photographers that have like blur. I'm like, that photographer just missed the shots and sent them to you. That's
the
his
light,
fault.
yeah.
That's his fault. But I'm like, I don't know. It's not the camera. It's not. Obviously, the lens plays. That's only depth of field. But besides that, it's still our talent
plays a-
and how we shoot. Because I chose to shoot at 2.2 or whatever, or f8. You know, like now we're getting really specific. But like those details are things. It all depends on the situation and why. That's what makes us who we are. You know, yeah. Yeah, if that's
He's trying to-
if that's
he's
the
trying-
verb
okay,
you want,
ill. You want to use the
noun.
verb ill? That's fine.
Or noun, pronoun, whatever. There was another question I wanted to
was,
ask. I don't know. Another awkward.
This one is like, well, this one is just like a regular. Like, how do you pull up to a spot like that? There's a lot of photographers and plant like get your real estate like.
Oh, we kind of talked about that a little in the last episode. Yeah, we.
Yeah, I mean-
yeah, we talked about that a little
Yeah,
just
we did.
because I don't know. Like even yesterday when Fab walked in, I was like, yo, can you introduce me to him first? Because I don't want to. Even though I was actually the only, no, there was 2 other photographers. I don't know why I got mad loud right there. But yeah, there was 2 other photographers. I was like, let me just get introduced to him so he knows that. But then I found out he wanted me in the room anyway. He's like, I want to document.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was cool. So
I think, yeah, to answer the question, I think it's like you got to just. It depends on the gig, I guess. Like if you're there and you are just the house photographer for whatever the gig is, then you can get the access that you need because you're speaking to the people who put the show on. So like you need access. So if you're not though, and you just I never really did that either. Like just pull up to places to shoot things.
yeah. I went to SOBs the other night without my camera, and that was so awkward because I only go there to take pictures. Like so like I'm here like.
Like what do I do?
Like,
Do I get a drink?
Even my homegirl saw me that she manages the spot. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Because it was like a small show, and the show was actually really dope. The headliner was I want to say Pell, and he has like 30,000 followers, not 30-something followers. And he had like a whole show because like as each act went on, it was like 3 or 4 when I got there. It got a little bit better. You can see the experience. And he had like a whole set. Even better, some actual shows that I've seen like from bigger artists at SOBs. Like he had a whole theme and everything. He had his DJ or his partner. They're from New Orleans actually. He was really dope because then he came and he performed a little. And I was actually surprised, and I got to just see. I ended up taking 1 photo on my phone, but at first I was like, I'm not taking no photos.
And it was fire, that one photo.
And
The composition on it.
it might be all right. I'm gonna let you guys decide. Leave a comment. I'm gonna post it up. But the funniest part of that whole night was there was this older gentleman, and he's like grandpa age, and he was taking a video and he was recording the whole thing. And I was with my boy, and I'm like, yo, it's not recording.
Did you tell him?
And I did not tell him. And I wanted to see how long it went. So I'm sorry to that guy. Like he was, like it was so bad that we got him. We recorded him not recording the show because we thought it was just hilarious.
Yeah, damn.
And I feel bad for it. But then he circled the block, came back, and he had black and white filters on, so he knew what he was doing. So that was his fault. Like he changed it to like black and white filters and got some photos. So I was like, he knew what he was doing with that camera. But he just missed it. I guess he thought he pressed the button.
I mean, that has happened.
Yeah, I know that
has happened to me.
How many? Yeah, if y'all do video.
Yeah.
And you have I don't know what kind of video, but I know like music videos and stuff. Oh, we're segueing perfectly here. Yeah. This is where I wanted to get to.
Segway
Yeah.
kings.
But if you're doing video, I've done a music video or anything, and you're like, all right, let's roll. And then at the end of it, you're like, cut. And then you press cut, and it starts rolling.
Yep.
You just pretend like you got that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, maybe let's do one more like this.
No, yeah, we got to do another
We
exact
gotta do
take.
another one. You messed up. You
Yeah.
messed up a little bit.
That's where you got to have that confidence. Like, nah, let's do another one. No, let's not. No playback of that one. Let's just keep going.
I think that's a pro tip too. I think
Pro tip,
because
pro tip.
here's a pro tip: the client has no idea They really don't.
And that's for everything.
That's for everything.
That's why they're hiring you. You're the creative to get their vision or some part of their vision out.
The only thing I think nowadays, because they're a little bit more savvy, I'm talking about clients in a very demeaning way. Let's not do that. But nowadays, I think they're a little bit more savvy, so they're more with cameras and stuff. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's just kind of like, yo, don't tell me that I need a black magic. Like, you don't know what that is.
Yeah, I've gotten asked like, oh, what camera do you have? They want to use a certain camera, and I'm like, my shit do 4K.
Right? Like, what are you talking about?
And I never shoot in 4K. So even if we did do it, you're not unless it's like a huge event or something. But I'm not doing that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Why should people pay photographers instead of buying great equipment like an iPhone or like a
because there's a quality difference, like it's our eye. Like, are you gonna take the time to actually learn how to use the equipment? Yeah. Actually saw someone recently, my boy. He's like, oh, I want to do some video stuff, and then I saw he bought all this equipment. It's newer equipment than me, so I'm sure the quality might be there, but now he's got to take the time to shoot, edit, this and that on top of his already day job. You can do that if you're really committed to doing it, or you hire the creatives. Like, that's what I said. I'm looking for an editor too, because now I know my time is valuable, and I'd rather pass certain things off so I can spend that time. It's just like everything in life. I pay to get my laundry done sometimes because I got shit to do, and I can't be wasting my 2 hours doing this, or it's like just a schedule of my conflict. So that's a great question. It's like, you can do it yourself, and the prices are way more affordable now. And like, my camera, when I got it, was $3K. Even though the years passed, that shit's like less than $100,000 now.
Yeah.
And now even the high-end cameras are getting so cheap. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, the access. That's why there are so many creators and photographers.
You know what? You touched on I think you touched on the time, like how time is super important.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about entrepreneurship earlier, and scheduling and waking up early, and like making sure you still put yourself on a clock in, clock out kind of situation. And as I started to become an ill photographer, I think I started to kind of learn more that time is like the most valuable shit like out here. So
J. Cole just talked about that, how Pharrell told him that. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, he was talking about when Pharrell gave him that advice. He was like, yo, put yourself on a schedule. J. Cole said he didn't realize it till he had a kid. And, he's like, yo, I want to get back to making music. I have to do it. Before you just be in the studio for hours, he was saying, just, he was young with his boys. But now that he got a family, he's like, I can't be doing this all day. So he put himself on a schedule, and he's like, his light and day in terms of productivity, because now you're not wasting those hours. Same thing. It's like, yo, if I'm on I kind of said, if I know I have like the edit or something, I schedule it into my day. Let me knock this out. Or if it's a lot of edits like that throughout the week, just make sure I try to stick to it. And I'm bad. Like, if I'm home, I'll be on my PS5, no lie. So luckily I take my laptop. I go to the coffee shops. I got my regular bars, my regular coffee shops. I go to these things. Honestly, I would come here more, but I don't like to take the travel, especially if I only need to edit for like an hour or two. Right. So I'm not going to commute here for that. But yeah, scheduling is very important, and I
think even learning work-life balance as well is like super important. I think a major thing that a lot of young photographers or like entrepreneurs do at the beginning is like overwork. And overworking is almost as bad as not working. Like, you'll start spinning wheels and like not doing anything productive.
Yeah.
And you need to like have that work-life balance where you can just be like, you got to clock in and out. Like, people hate me now. I'm like, my phone is like, I'm about to get a second phone too.
Yeah,
and then it's going to be over for everybody. But like, I start putting like, the do not disturb on, and like I'm like done at like 8 o'clock. Like don't talk to me about work after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's the fact that you mentioned that. I kind of went like, if I am corporate, like I don't answer emails on the weekend no more.
Yo,
Even now I took a call and she's like, "Oh, are you available tomorrow?" We'll see if we shot this or not, you know. But we'll see, because it's like, yeah, you need that balance. Like I didn't have plans Sunday,
right.
but that doesn't mean I should work. You know, I do need it's my Sunday. I want to relax, whatever. We'll see about that one. But yeah, but it goes down to just having that balance, and obviously we need money, so I don't want to turn it. That's why now I'm questioning: do I do it or not? It's only an hour. It's only headshots. We'll see. But these are, I guess, things you got to balance as an entrepreneur. If I was really like, if I was struggling, if I didn't have the rent money, I'm definitely taking a job. But you know, now that it's been a few years, I'm a little. Thank God for a grant. Actually, I got a great grant, and that kind of helped out. You got a question? What's up? Well, we got a live audience in the back.
I'm just saying, since y'all saying kind of basically like that's all, you know, comes with wisdom, knowledge, and experience that, you know what I'm saying, that they would be paying for, like a client would be paying for. Mm-hmm. What would you tell y'all younger selves, you know what I'm saying, when you approached the whole photography?
Ooh, that's a good one to end on too. That's good. I guess I would tell my younger self, and we just touched on it, not to work as hard. And that sounds crazy to say. That sounds wild. But like, you also didn't know how much I like was ODing. Like I was like trying to like be everywhere, do everything, like for a while, and like you burn out. And this is telling my younger self, aka 2 years ago, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not even that long ago. Like I would be burning out.
That's because you do every job under the sun too.
The burnout is like, and when you get there, it's hard to get out of that, because it's not just like, oh, I'm burnt out, I'm tired. It's like depressed. It's like the whole everything.
It's the like creative drain, right? Like, you have no more to give.
Nothing. Your tank's empty.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of creativity. Like, I don't think people really pay that much attention to clients and artists equally. Like, we don't realize that. Yo, that shit got to be nourished, right? Even to have a good eye, or to have a good idea for a theme, or a premise to a project, you need your creative juices. You need to be able to fire on all cylinders, especially if you want to make it as best as you can. You know?
Yeah, and that's a good way to transition to me, because mine would be to shoot personal projects. I only touch my camera if I'm getting paid, whereas when I first started, before I told you, like I only took pictures of my friends or like little things, compared to like now, you know, working events or doing this and that. Like my camera, I barely take pictures of my daughter sometimes with it, just because the shit's so big and this and that, and I gotta lug it to the park or wherever we're going. If we're going somewhere big, then I take it with me. But like, I would love to get everyday pictures of her, so I'm gonna buy a smaller camera really soon for that.
Kind of like a curse, you would think? You would say?
Yeah,
it's good, but like personal projects is also like, you know, like we put so much effort into other clients' stuff, like, and this is more like portrait or in studio things. Events is, I feel, different, but you know, like I have never done a personal project that I've released. Like, here's a series of photos. I've been working on one soon. Hopefully by Father's Day I have it this year. So this is making myself accountable. But you know, like just putting stuff out like that, like just personal things. Because right now, you know, it's more about, you know, using my craft to live and, you know, pay bills, rent and everything. So I'm like, man, it's hard to like I did buy a film camera recently, so I guess that helps a little. And now I've just been taking random pictures. I'm excited to get those developed. So that's like me getting back to the creative side of photography, and not just always the business and work. And even though it's fun, but just like different than, you know, work and photography. I don't know, creative is different.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I would tell my younger self also to like not be so hard on myself. Like, you know, like it's a creative thing, so like just flow with it a little bit more. I don't think this year was my I'm saying that I'm flowing this year. That was like that was.
You're flowing and flowing?
January 1st, I said This year I'm gonna flow.
That's your mantra now?
That was my mantra, and like, yeah, I think it's been working. I'm doing pretty well. So I think, I don't know if you need me to elaborate on that, but like,
I think they get it. I get it.
Flow a little bit. Not so hard on yourself. Things happen.
Yeah.
Just move with it.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying life. I'm happy. Yeah.
All right. So that was
a lot. You're gonna.
That was episode 2 of the Studio 3K BK podcast. I want everyone to do all the things: subscribe, like, comment,
and also now follow us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
We just made one right before this episode.
We did.
So please follow us there. You might see some behind the scenes on there.
Real quick, anything at Andrew Fennell. Actually, I shouldn't say anything because I really only use Instagram. So
I've been trying to tweet more.
At Andrew Fennell.
I just changed my Twitter. So I think it's like Danny. Here's a link right here to that. I literally just changed it. My IG is Daniel Vasquez Photos. I made my TikTok a while back, but it's the same thing. I'm gonna start posting more because supposedly that's the way to grow. Yeah, I made it, but I don't use it. So, yeah.
I'm gonna hire somebody. I'm gonna get a social media manager. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then the studio's at Studio 3K BK on Instagram, and now newly on TikTok. So
TikTok. We're gonna be dancing on there.
Yeah, definitely doing all the challenges. That's what we gonna do.
Nah, yeah.
All right. That's it.
Just got my nails done.